Well, hi folks. I'm out here at Black Lake on my 7-day, 6-night camping trip. Right now, well, it's Thursday today. I have today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then I leave Sunday. Today, temperature-wise, it's beautiful. No humidity. It's about 70 degrees. Tomorrow it's supposed to be another beautiful day like today. Saturday, it's supposed to rain. I already put up with 2 days of rain. So, today I was going to head out early this morning on the kayak, do some fishing. As you might be able to tell, the wind's really blowing. Yeah, it's blowing. It'd be a struggle out there today on the kayak. So, I opted not to. Now there's a possibility, small possibility, that Cheesehead Chris is going to show up today. And he's going to bring his boat with him, his fishing boat. I haven't seen this fishing boat. It's just from what I understand, it's just like a 14-foot regular fishing boat without board on it. If he does that, we'll be going out fishing on a powered boat. No strong arm in the wind, or dancing around in the wind. So, that's what I might do this afternoon. Right now it's just 1 o'clock. He could show up anytime. Or he may not show up at all. Doesn't matter. Fine with me. I'm in camp. I'm enjoying myself. Relaxing for a change. Away from the stress. Now I can't believe it. I've been to this thing 3 days. And I'm still feeling social stress. Every time I sit and stop and try to relax, then the old mind starts turning, and I start thinking about all the stressful things in the world that affect each and every one of us in our own unique ways. So when it comes to drama, I got no room for it. I'm out here. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay, I've been here Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. 3 nights. Every night I get serenaded by loons. I can hear them calling and singing all through the night. Last night, boy oh boy, they were out there calling until about 2 o'clock in the morning. Just beautiful and relaxing. Wonderful. But now I'm conditioning myself to block out all the stresses. Because even as beautiful as it is, and as wonderful as it can be out here, that garbage follows. So, with that, I got to thinking this morning, sitting around, had myself a really nice breakfast, bacon, ham, and eggs. Wow, it was great. And I was just pondering things. The newest thing that's kind of irritating me is the whole discussion now on bushcraft. This whole bushcrafting thing. Well, it's not bushcraft if you don't do this. It's only bushcraft if you do it this way. And you're not a real bushcrafter because you this, and this. Pipes up. So, I got to thinking about it. And I'm not going to play the bushcraft game. Not anymore. Is this a bushcraft channel? Maybe. Is this a storytelling channel? Quite a bit of it. Is this an outdoors channel? Another quite a bit. Is it going to always be bushcrafting? Am I going to show you how to use flint and steel, how to use a bow drill, how to properly use a ferro rod? Am I going to tell you which is the best knife to use for bushcrafting? It's got to be this one. Am I going to tell you that you're not a real bushcrafter if you don't whittle your own spoon? You're not a real bushcrafter if you don't build your own camp furniture. You're not a real bushcrafter if you this or if you that. I'm not going there. I'm not telling you that. Do you use your imagination when you're in the outdoors and fabricate things? Sit around and say, oh man, I need a tripod over my campfire. Do you right away stop and go, oh, maybe I should video that because I'm a bushcrafter and I can only do bushcraft. I gotta, because all the bushcrafters out there are going to say, that wasn't bushcraft because you put up this, you built this wonderful tripod and the weather was bad, so you cooked on your Coleman stove. You're no bushcrafter. Now wait a minute, I built a tripod over my fire pit. That's what bushcrafters do, isn't it? Oh, that's right, bushcrafters don't use Coleman stoves. I'll tell you what, bushcrafters don't eat ramen noodles either. Bushcrafters don't bring steak from home. And just because they cooked it on a stick doesn't mean they didn't go down to their local meat market and pick out the best New York strip steak they had. Definitely bushcrafting, ain't it? No, they didn't go out and snare that. They didn't go out and hunt that with a primitive bow and arrow. They didn't make a spear with the only bushcraft knife that's best for bushcrafting. And spear themselves a deer and put that old deer steak over the fire. No, they didn't do that. Well, then they're not a good bushcrafter, are they? It's gotten to the point, folks, where it's become bushcraft BS. Bushcraft BS is what it's become. They've misconstrued bushcrafting with being an outdoorsman or woman, outdoors woman. I know a lot of women that can outdoors it way beyond many of these professional bushcrafters. But if they have the opportunity, they're going to stay in a nice tent, they're going to have comfort in their camp, they're going to have a Coleman stove, and they're going to bushcraft a bunch of stuff. But if they have to, they can bust off in the bush and bushcraft it. But it doesn't mean you quit bushcrafting when you're in camp. So I'm not going there. If anybody wants to say Stuy's not a bushcrafter, I used to teach it. I used to teach it. I know what bushcrafting is. It's an art. It's a set of skills. You learn these different skill sets out of curiosity, out of a wish to be able to do things that have been done before. Anybody that says, oh, you got to watch this video of mine, you've never seen this bushcrafting trick before. You may not have seen it before, but the implication is, I came up with this. There's many bushcrafting skills that Stuy has come up with his own method, his own way of doing it. He tweaked it a little because he just couldn't do it the standard way. So he tweaked it. Is that a new bushcrafting skill? Something special to be admired? The only thing to be admired is anytime anybody puts their own thought and mind into it to accomplish the same end result. And if anybody thinks that there's a bushcrafting skill out there that hasn't been tried, think again. Bushcrafting's been practiced. I've given up on my pipe. Bushcrafting has been practiced since the Neanderthals. Do you want to enjoy the outdoors? Practice bushcrafting skills in camp when you're bored and you got nothing else to do. Sit around and make feather sticks. Sit around and make primitive tools. Sit around, make primitive weapons. Strike out in the woods and make some primitive snares and traps. Do it for no other reason than experience. I want to experience what it was like to do that. But don't once think that you're watching YouTube and you're watching all the bushcrafters in the world, where there's tens of thousands of us, so-called bushcrafters. Every single one you see, unless they're using modern technology, and then it's not true bushcraft, because they're using modern tools and they're using modern methods and things. There's nothing new out there. Don't think for a minute it hasn't been done before. And it's been done by people that don't have access to modern tools and the like. I find it hard. See, I don't like being a prideful person. I find it hard to find pride in being simplistic and doing things the simple way. The only pride I can find in that is that I was smart enough to do it the simplest way possible. What bushcrafters do, those that have channels like mine, is we share our experience with you, and then it's up to you. You go out and you do your best to do it your way. Not this professional bushcrafter's way. The only professional bushcrafters in the world are all long dead and gone. They're all long dead and gone. The bushcrafters we have today are imitators. We're all imitators, every one of us. We're out there imitating what our ancestors did daily, hourly, minutely. From the moment they woke up till they went to bed, it was a bushcraft life. There's nobody out there. You hear about these, I soloed for a year. Yeah, with a $180 Essie knife, and they've got a rifle and a modern bow and arrow and a ferro rod. Ferro rod in bushcrafting. You think there were ferro rods? You think people were using ferro rods 250, 300 years ago out here in the wilderness? No, they weren't. Flint and steel? Some. 250 years ago on this continent. Before that, not flint and steel, because they weren't even in the Iron Age yet. So, I know this video's long, but I need to rant on this one. So, I don't know. I'm contemplating taking the term bushcraft off of my logo, where it says, where bushcraft and storytelling come together. I'm thinking of changing that to where the outdoors and storytelling comes together. Because that's what I want to see. I want to see people in the outdoors. And if it's to go out and primitive camp, learn and practice primitive skills, yes, more power to you. Wonderful, do it. Go out there and do it. Get ideas from folks on YouTube, all these different bushcrafting channels. Get some ideas from them. But every time one of them says, this is the best bushcrafting such and such, that's bushcrafting BS. That's bushcrafting BS. I'll tell you what, I've gotten in the habit now that this this buck knife, very common buck knife, I'm not going into what it is, but it's a folder, and it's a tough one. I've had this folder for about 35 years. 35 years. 35 years. Does that look like a 35-year-old knife to you? I've skinned, literally, I field dressed and skinned and butchered many, many white-tailed deer with this. I've filleted fish with it because I couldn't find my filleting knife. I've done everything bushcrafty with this. I've batoned small wood with this. I wouldn't go batoning no big 4-inch stuff with it. That's not what it's made for. But it is solid enough to baton with. The thing is, I've actually collected all raw material and made a bow drill with this knife. I've done the same for hand drill. It's stainless and it doesn't strike a ferro rod well, but that's all right. My ferro rod's got a striker on it anyway. But I've seen people say, well, that ain't a proper bushcraft knife. Well, what the heck is proper and what isn't? Did I bushcraft with it? Well, you're damn right I did. That doesn't mean... I don't care what knife you carry. If it gets the job done, if the end product is there when you're done with it, then you're packing the right knife. It doesn't have to be a $40 knife. It doesn't have to be a $150 knife. It doesn't have to be a $400 knife. Can it be? Absolutely. Does it have to be? Absolutely not. until you have a professional bushcrafter tell you in an instructional video that's supposed to help you out. You gotta have this. This is the best. I compared it to this one and this one and this one and this one. You know what the comparison is? I've carried this for 30 plus years. You hand me a knife, I'll tell you 30 years from now if it compares to this one. All right? Not an afternoon, not one trip out to camp using a new knife and saying, oh, well, this is the best of them. How do you know after a day or two when you've used the same knife for 30 years and it's always gotten the job done? But yet somebody has got a huge following saying, I'm the man and this is the knife. Bushcraft BS is what that is. Someone showing you, I can do the hand drill and it's foolproof. You do it every time. And then the viewers go and they try it and they go, I've got a hand drill and I can't do it anytime. I follow his instructions the way he talks about it and I watch his videos. He strikes that fire just like that. I can't get a coal. I try all day long, can't get an ember. So I changed up some of the materials, tweaked my own process and method, and lo and behold, I got an ember. But I didn't get it his way. But he said this is the right way to do it, and it's so fast, it's almost guaranteed. Okay, wait until it's raining and storming out. I've got methods of hand drill that are the easiest for me. Same with bow drill. And I use Shaga hearth boards for that, because I can get an ember almost every time. Except in a rainstorm, ain't happening unless I've got true dry cover. True dry cover. And I got a dry piece of Shaga and a dry set of equipment. Otherwise, you ain't getting a fire started with that bow drill or that hand drill. You're not. It's just like, I love birch bark for starting fires. Love it. But, and everybody's done these videos. Hey, I soaked this piece of birch bark and took it out. See how easy I got it to light? Bushcraft BS. I can put you onto a video of a person that did the exact same experiment. They couldn't get it to light with a cigarette lighter. It doesn't always work that way. So, when all the professional bushcrafters in the world tell you this is the only way, this is the best way, I'm telling you, I'm a bushcrafter, I'm king of the bushcrafters, it's bushcrafter BS. Get out there, enjoy the outdoors, practice those primitive skills, and find the way that works best for you, just like our ancestors did. You think they got it right all the time? No. They developed their own methods and their own skill. It's your skill. It's not some YouTube bushcrafter skill. It's yours. You go out, you practice it, you succeed, you own it. Nobody else. Nobody else. And you can try to teach it to others, but all you can do is teach them a process and show them what the end result can be. Can. Doesn't mean it will, but it can be that. So yeah, Sty North, is he a bushcrafter? In the bushcrafter's world, probably not. Even though I taught it. Even though I was the lead instructor of a bushcrafting-based camp. Am I a bushcrafter? Not under all these professional bushcrafters terms, not if you look at it. How many of these professional bushcrafters go out and they do a video for you and they show you all of these neat primitive skills, and then off camera they get a $65,000 truck, and they're complaining the whole thing about how hot and humid and nasty it is, but they're riding home in a $65,000 truck with the air conditioning on, listening to the tunes. Da 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 da. I got another great video of bushcrafting because I'm such a professional bushcrafter. You want to meet a professional bushcrafter, you're going to have to bump your butt back 300 years plus. Those were the real bushcrafters. We're just outdoorsmen and women, enjoying the outdoors and enjoying the experience of trying to go back to our roots and learn some of those primitive skills that those folks learned without YouTube and without experience. It was a hit and miss. So that's what life's about. So there's Sty's Rant of the Day out here at camp, out at Black Lake, northern Wisconsin. Hey, thanks for hearing me out, and I'm loving it out here. Love you guys. It's great that you tagged along. I hope I didn't insult any bushcrafters out there, because that's not what this was intended to be. In fact, like I said, boom, more power to you if you're out there doing it primitive. Doing it primitive. It's a real experience. It's enjoyable. It's a learning experience, and I encourage anybody that wants to learn those primitive skills, get out there and do it. Get out there and get their hands dirty and do it. But don't be miserable. Do not make yourself unnecessarily miserable. You combine the best of both worlds. Modern knowledge, a few modern tools, with a primitive application. There you go. That's a true outdoorsman for you. Doesn't fit the true definition of a bushcrafter. Keep in mind, the term bushcrafter hasn't been around for many years. In fact, 30 years ago, I'd never heard of it. Ever. There was no such thing as a bushcrafter. So, there you go. If you enjoyed this video, punch me in the ugly bug. You'll be subscribed. You can ring the bell. Then you'll know if I put a video up or going live, which I do. I go live twice a week at least, unless I'm out at camp. And I'll throw a couple of videos up on the side here. And until the next time, you all have a very, very nice day. Bye-bye.